Society is breaking down. The law isn't protecting you, and one man has decided to do something about it. Citizen Vigilante isn't asking you whether that's right or wrong. It's driving a car through your house and then telling you it needs repainting. I'm the Grumpy Scot, and today we're talking about Citizen Vigilante, a movie so blunt it makes a sledgehammer look like a scalpel. This is not a superhero movie. There's no cape, no moral grey area wrapped in witty dialogue, no Nolan-esque brooding philosophy. What it is a raw, stripped back look at what happens when ordinary people feel the system has completely abandoned them. Now, before we go further, and this matters, the director himself went on social media to clarify this isn't a satirical dig at the far right. It's not winking at the audience. It means exactly what it says on the tin. That's either brave or reckless, and maybe by the end of the review you'll know which side I've landed on. We're covering the performance, the messaging, the craft, and why this film is simultaneously its own worst enemy, and oddly necessary. Let's start with what the film is actually saying, because there's a moment that crystallises the entire debate at the heart of this story. A cop hunting a vigilante walks into a bar. It's not a joke. The barmaid tells him straight up, nobody really wants this man caught. And the cop, to his credit, gives the most coherent defence of civilised society you'll hear in a film this year. He says essentially, we have law, we have process, people are judged and either walk free or pay the price. You can't have vigilantes running around in their own authority. You want society to break down.
They must pay the price. You know, we cannot have vigilantes running around doing their own thing, you know? That's what
It's a valid point, it genuinely is. But here's the thing, and the film knows this. The counterpoint that half the Western world is quietly thinking right now is this. Society is breaking down, not because of vigilantes, because the law stopped protecting ordinary people, their communities, their culture, their safety. And when institutions fail loudly and repeatedly, people don't philosophically accept it, they act. Now, is this film making that argument with nuance and careful reasoning? Absolutely not. This is not a film that cuts its toenails carefully. This is a film that drops a brick on your toes and says, well, something needed doing about those feet. Let's talk about Armie Hammer. And despite the wild rumours circulating Hollywood, I've got to give credit where it's due. The man is a machine in this, and I mean that literally. His performance is cold, efficient, entirely in service of the film's tone. There's no winking at the camera, no attempt to make the character likeable in a conventional sense. He is the film's thesis statement made flesh. Brutally simplistic, purposeful, uncompromising. Is it a subtle performance? No, and it's not meant to be. Hammer understood the assignment completely. He delivers exactly what this story requires, and in a film that is this stripped back, that's actually harder than it sounds. Playing conviction without charisma takes discipline. The supporting cast, however, Wooden doesn't quite cover it. Some of them look like they wandered in from a corporate training video. They're functional. They move the plot from A to B. They don't go in expecting anyone to steal scenes from Hammer. The film doesn't ask them to, which is probably wise because on the evidence presented, they couldn't. Right, the technical side, let's talk about what works and what actively annoyed me, and I'll start with what annoyed me, because I think you deserve to know up front.
Capture the imagination of the public. Hope doesn't rest in the hands of government officials or law enforcement. Instead, it lies with an enigmatic figure, the vigilante citizen.
The news updates, running through the entire movie like an irritating ticker tape of doom, with one of the most annoyingly voiced newscasters I've ever heard. I understand what it's doing. It's providing societal context, showing the world the vigilante is operating in, keeping you anchored to the bigger picture. I understand it. I still found it relentlessly grating. It feels less like a stylistic choice and more like the film doesn't trust you to remember that society is a mess, is falling apart, and you don't need reminded about it every 4 minutes. And then there's the music. And, you know, this is where you see the budget has been slashed because it's awful. It's deliberate, brutal, just annoying. The cinematography, I'll give it this, it's brutally efficient, just like the rest of the movie. It's functional, gets out of the way of the story rather than showing off, which in this kind of movie is exactly the right call. Filmmaking mirrors the message, no frills, no pretension, no wasted shots. There's an honesty to that approach, even if it makes for aesthetically unremarkable viewing. And I've got to warn you, it can get very graphic when it comes to violence. So what is this movie actually trying to do? What's it trying to sell us? And this is where it gets interesting. And it's actually reaching for something that just almost achieves. There's a thread of hope running through Citizen Vigilante, but, and this is crucial, it's not offering you a saviour. It's not saying, here's your hero, follow this man. The ending, the tone, the whole arc points in a completely different direction. The hope, if you can call it that, is in your own hands. The storm that may or may not be coming, you decide what that means for you. And that's actually a more mature idea than the execution deserves. A more sophisticated film could have made that ambiguity genuinely powerful. This one hints at it and then goes back to dropping bricks. The tragedy of Citizen Vigilante is that its core instinct that people are losing faith in institutions faster than institutions are losing faith in themselves is genuinely worth exploring. It just explores it with the subtlety of a foghorn in a library. Is it a good film? No. It's a well-made film. Is it a film that will make you think? Maybe. Armie Hammer does exactly what's asked of him. The director means every frame with complete sincerity. And the core question the film is asking, what happens when people stop believing the law protects them, is one of the most pressing questions of this decade. But good intentions and hitting people with bricks are not the same as good filmmaking. The supporting cast is weak. The news ticker is infuriating. The music thinks it's more dramatic than the script earns. And the whole thing moves with all the grace of a shopping trolley with a dodgy wheel. I originally was going to give this 3, but I think I'm edging towards a 4, or maybe even a 5. As I said, it's not a great movie, but it has societal aspects in it that it's maybe worth watching it for that alone, even if it just makes you think just a little bit. Skip it though if you want cinema that earns its convictions through craft rather than sheer force of will. And Uwe Ball is a very brave director to put this out there. So the storm is in your own hands. If you want more brutally honest takes with zero agenda other than telling you what I actually think, you know what to do. Subscribe, like all that other crap. Do you think this film is brave, or just blunt, insightful, or just gory? Because I'm genuinely torn, and I'd rather argue with you about it than pretend I'm not. I'm the Grumpy Scot. I'm great.